Voted best casino in Pennsylvania. Join us 35 minutes before the next Phillies postseason contest for Phillies on Deck with Greg Murphy. Then, stay tuned for Scott, Tom, Stock, and LA as they bring you all of the exciting Phillies postseason action. This is the Phillies Radio Network.
This Odyssey Sports broadcast has been presented by Health Markets. Shop for health insurance your way.
94 WIP HD1 Philadelphia, powered by the Tasty Cake Studios. This is the Final Out, sponsored by Regency Furniture. Affordable never looked so good. Sports Radio 94 WIP, an Odyssey sports station. This is High Hope's special post-game coverage. Sports Radio 94 WIP.
It is Final Out, sponsored by Regency Furniture. Affordable, never looks so good. High Hopes Radio, low
That's
hopes.
not the only thing that looks so good.
Yeah, buddy.
It didn't look so good.
Fritz and Seltzer with you. That sucked. I don't know how to better describe it. Just a brutal night at the ballpark. I mean, Zack Wheeler could not have been more magnificent. 7 shutout innings, 9 strikeouts, 1,000 swing and misses was just awesome. But we knew it. Watching the whole game, you, me, Tucker was with us. We just kept saying to each other, you better score some runs. You better score some runs. You better score some runs. This Mets team comes back. And then you get 1 out combined from Hoffman and Strom, and it fell apart.
Yeah. It felt like opening day. I mean, I know it's not like the same kind of circumstances, but on opening day, like their best relievers also sucked, and that's what tonight felt like. I couldn't be more mad at the offense. I just couldn't be more mad at them. And it feels so much like 2011. And the series isn't over. The Phillies are going to win tomorrow. But to react right now, like this is a high-powered offense that has been consistently disappointing for a good stretch now. Like it is what it is. I mean, the Mets now, they are, since London, 27 games over 500. The Phillies are 2. So it was putrid. This offense continues to be putrid. And it was every one of our worst fears heading into the series realized in one game. I mean, in one game, Wheeler dominant, offense sucks, Mets magic late. I mean, it was everything that I think people that were worried about the series, and I thought justifiably so, that was what we did not want to see to a T. And for this offense to do what they did, especially all week talking about how, we have the inner fire from last year's NLCS, and this is going to be different. And I just, to be right back in the same spot where we were watching this team lose at Game 7, I'm not sure what has changed.
Yeah, it felt like a continuation. That's exactly how I felt, Jack. I felt like I was back here for Game 6 and Game 7, which is a really crappy feeling considering how special this building has been for the most part over the last couple of years. And you felt it tonight. You felt them chasing from the jump. I mean, Nick Castellanos looked like old school Nick, just swinging at balls in the dirt. Like
Castellanos has been great for a couple months. Why is he batting 4? Why is he batting 4? He's batting 304 or whatever. Last time I checked, batting 5. Like, just put Bohm at 4. He had 97 RBIs for a majority of the season playing the spot. It's some big moments for him tonight, but the freaking offense. That's the thing. That's the thing. And if this doesn't turn around and this doesn't go the right way, you have to shake that up because they're not good enough. I don't care. They pay a lot of money for the offense, and I get it, but they just are not good enough. They're not. It's been months of this crap, and it's really it started 2 weeks ago. When they went to Milwaukee, that's when this crap started. They struck out 44 times in 3 games. They went to New York the following weekend. They struck out 1 billion times. Like, it's the freaking strikeouts. And look at the 2 differences between the offenses tonight.
Yeah, the Mets put the ball 8. Mets had 8 hits, all singles.
Dude, they were down 0-2 in every count in the 8th.
Yeah, unbelievable.
What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? It's the same crap that sunk them last year.
It's exactly the same, and it's exactly what we were concerned. To your point, like we were like, just don't let the bats be cold, and they were exactly what they've been. Get on the line now, 215-592-9494. Let's react with us.
Well, and the second that Dabrowski said it like 2 days ago, that's clearly what they're worried about. They're pressing. I mean, they're 100% pressing, and to lose that game when Wheeler goes 7 shutout of brilliant baseball, that it can't happen.
It's deflating.
It can't happen.
It's deflating. And look, tomorrow obviously is an absolute must-win game. Sanchez on the hill, and it's also one of those situations where now if the Mets go up 1-0 tomorrow, this ballpark's going to get tense. It's going to get tight. It's a real spot. Let's get to the game wrap-up, sponsored by Krevitz, providing CNC machine cleaning services, waste coolant removal, and scrap metal systems designed for efficiency and lights-out manufacturing. Krevitz.online or Krevitz.com. And look, I don't think there's much to say here. The game wrap-up was they didn't hit. That's it. The top line, middle line, bottom line, they didn't hit.
They didn't hit, and their best relievers let them down.
1 out. You get 1 out from Straumanov. Think about that.
Yep.
A 1-0 game. And look, I saw some people ripping Topper. I can't blame Topper for that. You go to Jeff Hoffman in that spot. You go to Matt Strom in that spot. You have to trust those guys to get out.
It's unbelievable how we can't just blame players.
I know.
We can't blame players. Zack Wheeler in the first start of the postseason, you're not pitching him 125, 100.
It was 111 pitches. It's already more than you expect in that spot.
And it was high stress.
Yeah.
I won't take a call if it's Wheeler should have been out there for the 8th.
It's crazy.
It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. He had 110 pitches. He went through some innings there where his stuff was not that sharp. He was walking batters. It is what it is. Being a baseball manager is coin flips. It's decisions. Rob Thompson did not make wrong decisions tonight. They didn't work out. Now, if you want to talk about Sanchez tomorrow versus Nola, we'll see. You want to talk about Castellanos back to the 5-hole, we'll see. But tonight's not a Rob Thompson game. Your best reliever, who, by the way, I threw out his last game against the Nationals, 4 runs, didn't care. Do I all of a sudden have to be worried about Jeff Hoffman? That can't happen. They cannot compete if Jeff Hoffman's that. So Jeff Hoffman didn't have it. Strom didn't have it. Kerkering didn't have it. That's ball game. That's ball game. Yeah,
and they didn't hit. They didn't hit. It's infuriating.
They better come out and make a statement tomorrow.
Yeah,
we'll get to tomorrow, but don't if you want this to turn ugly, do what you did today tomorrow offensively.
Big time. And look, all this, to your point, all the talk before the series, all the talk all season long. This is about winning World Series. We know what the goal is. We're ready. We wanted to buy. We got the rest. Like tomorrow's it. This is it. You better show up or else, it's going to be a short playoffs. 215-592-9494. Get on the line. React with us now tonight to hear from the listeners as, I think a lot of people, we were confident going into this game, but this, to Jack's point, this was the worst case scenario. This is what we were praying wasn't going to happen. And it happened. 215-592-9494. Let's start on the phones with our guy, Black Gritty. What up, bud?
Guys, I love you. Let me just say that. I don't want to hear the manager's name at all. It's not the best game I've seen from a pitcher in my life, but Wheeler was out there working. When he got in a jam, he pulled himself up by his bootstraps, and he still gave you the confidence and everything you could ask for that man. He was throwing 9,000 miles per hour. He was juiced and ready to go. Schwarber starts you off with a Schwarber bomb.
Yep.
The fans showed up. I didn't see Mets anywhere. I didn't hear any Mets anywhere.
Same.
Everybody did their job except for the lineup and hitting. And for me, it was over when Bryce got tired of being walked. Because, bro, they're not pitching to you, and you sat there and you swung at garbage.
Yeah.
And the whole momentum in my mind flipped. Because yes, we're still only up 1, but at least they were, in it. You know what I mean? They were focused. They were you know what I mean? But once that happened, everybody just really started swinging and reaching and pulling because, the game's getting tight. You can't
this team does not.
At least Bryce waited, though. Turner and Castellanos were like that from the jump. I mean, swinging at everything from the first inning on.
Turner hasn't given us anything, and he was out on that dive back. Dude, you're not stealing bases. What are you doing to help this team right now? Like I said, everybody showed up and did their job except for the bats. And, for the whole raking, my God, it's embarrassing to get 8 hits, no home runs, and you lose the game like that at home. I'm sick to death, guys. Wheels went up and everybody else went down. Back at it tomorrow. They better get it done. They better get it done in a way that makes us feel like something. Because right now, it's a problem, guys.
Yep.
Have a good night. I'll
Thanks,
talk to
buddy.
you.
But like Bryce being pitched around, listen, that's what teams are going to do.
You have to expect that coming in. We all expect it.
And it's why, if this falls short, the third straight year, the freaking cleanup spot will sink them again. Like that's it. It is what it is. So it will be the third straight year. Castellanos in 22, boom, last year, and whoever they stick with that now. But they're just going to pitch around Bryce. They're not going to let Bryce kill them. He's the best NLDS player ever.
And you know what? And that's it's clearly what they're going to do. And other people have to step up. This can't all be about Bryce. I'm with you. I get it. But like, I mean, Trey Turner is going to be paid $300 million to play here, and certainly not to be a great fielder. That's for damn sure. He's here to hit. Nick Castellanos is making $120 million or $100 million to hit. Like, it's absolutely unacceptable. I mean, Bohm, Stott, Marsh, no competitive at bats all night. We said coming into this, like the one thing, like you don't want the bats to go cold. How do you prevent the bats going cold? I don't know. Go up there with a freaking approach. Make the pitcher throw pitches. Like work a count. You know, do the things that you do to like have some sort of a productive at bat, even if you're not going to put the ball in play. Like they didn't do any of that.
No, it's who they are. I mean, it's as simple as that. It's who they've been. It's who they are. This is an inconsistent offense that they, first off, when they start pressing, it's over. Might as well just chalk it up and go home. It's pointless. It's pointless. They don't fight. They like offensively, they never fight. They are not a gritty offensive group, and they should be. I mean, they should be. Schwarber sometimes puts together good at bats, but we know he likes to jump first pitch. Which is not like this is not about Schwarber, but Turner chases. Harper great at bats. Castellanos chases or swings first pitch. Bohm, tough-ish out, but it's just I don't know. It's who they are. It's who they are. And if you ask anyone that watched the team all year, what's the biggest thing that you're worried about heading into the postseason? And it's what we saw tonight. And that's the most disappointing part. Is like this is such a key time for this team. And all season, we're going for the 1 seed. Get us the bye. We'll be fine. Once we get in, flip the switch. Who cares? We played 500 baseball for 2.5 months. Tonight was so embarrassing. So embarrassing.
Yeah, it was. And look, tomorrow we're going to find out what this team's made of.
Yeah.
You know, we've talked a lot about this team, and they've had big moments. Obviously, they haven't won the World Series, but they've had big moments. They've come through in big spots over these last 2 years at times. Obviously, have failed at others, but we're going to see what they're made of tomorrow. We're going to see how this team comes out, how they approach the game, how they approach their bats. Let's get to the biggest takeaway of the game, brought to you by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. I mean, I think the biggest takeaway from the game is better freaking win tomorrow, man. Like, better freaking win tomorrow.
Well, I'll say on top of that, I mean, like the Mets magic is obviously real. I mean, it just is.
They're confident. They're resilient. They and we knew it. That's why we kept saying you have to score more runs. It's because this Mets team doesn't believe they have lost until the game's over, and that is a powerful thing.
Well, and now they have to do extra. They have to do extra to try to keep them down, because that team's going to keep pushing. That team's going to keep fighting, and it's just it's sickening in this ballpark. Watching one team have more grit than the other team.
Well, especially after the last 2 playoff games we saw here.
I know.
That's exactly what we saw. The Arizona Diamondbacks have more grit and fight harder and play better and make plays when it mattered.
Yep.
And we haven't seen that from the Phils in a while
Forever.
in this building. Since 10-0 in game 2 of the NLCS last year. Let's go back to the phones, talk to Gary in the Northeast. What up, Gary?
Oh, man, you guys, I'll tell you something, man. Was this game 8 of last year? It's the same exact garbage, okay? We got to stop with the celebrations, with the ice cubes, all that crap, okay?
That's the
Again, he said he learned from last year. Schwarber's hitting first, okay?
Well,
Schwarber should be 3 or 4.
Schwarber should be hitting first.
So when he hits a home run, there's somebody on base. Maybe it'll get Turner going. This is absolutely disgusting, guys.
Yeah, Gary, I'm with you and appreciate the call. I'm with you that it's disgusting. I don't necessarily agree with the reasons that you had.
It's always Schwarber in the leadoff.
It's just we're reverting back to that. Like of everyone, Schwarber was the least of the problem offensively.
Dude, they're on hits. their only hits
until the Harper double.
Until the garbage time hits. Until the garbage time hits. Again, they were before it was garbage time. They were like 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position. It's just in that moment with that pitcher with the hot team, you got to kill them. You got to kill them.
Well, and especially when you're going up against some Mets. You said it before the game, but this is essentially a bullpen game for the Mets.
The Mets were conceding today. Now, if you want to play glass half full, they used some guys. They had Diaz up in the ninth.
He had to throw some pitches in the bullpen.
How's that make you feel? Do you feel so much better?
I was thrilled
that Diaz had to wake up, but I hope they win. I'm not ready to do the jumping to large conclusions about the team. I know it's an easy thing to do when they lose a game like that, but I think we'll be ready if this doesn't go the right way because there's going to have to be changes.
Yeah, again, well, look, that's why tomorrow is such a massive game. Obviously, just from a winning the series perspective, they got to win tomorrow, but also for I think this fan base's belief in this group of guys. Like,
how do you let that happen? I mean, how do you let that happen with what Wheels did on the mound today? Like, you see the guy out there busting his hump, and to just grind out a run,
like put the ball in play,
like, grind one out, and you knew this is like you've been the fact that they waited until this week to start doing the whole like bunting and doing it's like you should have been doing this all year because it's what can separate teams in October. I've just found this whole like couple of weeks here, and well, I mean, you can go back even further than that when they really put this thing on cruise control. It's all been so the mentality of all of that is just so annoying. Like you guys haven't arrived. You went on a magical run in 22. You choked last year. Like you're not the 90s Yankees.
No,
there's been a little too much. We're not worried with the first round thing for me. And they didn't show up tonight. Like one guy showed up tonight. Two guys. If you want to put Schwarber in there, it's embarrassing. How can you not grind out of another run? All you needed to stomp the Mets tonight would have been 3. 3 would have been fine. 3 would have been a completely different ball game, and you're probably walking out of here with a win. But you kept them around just long enough to believe that they can come back. And the second that Wheeler was out, they said, there's our shot. And no matter how good Hoffman is, Hoffman's great. Hopefully, my hope with the relievers tonight is that that's a week off.
Mm-hmm.
What we saw, Hoffman barely pitched, Kirkring's barely pitched, Strom's barely pitched.
Yep.
I hope tonight was just rust, and that's not indicative of the rest of the series. But offensively, I don't know how you. I mean, I know how we do it. They've done this before, but like have some inner gumption, have some fortitude down there. I can't believe we're doing this again.
Well, especially again, and we talked about this in the pregame show, but you're going up against the Mets. It's not like the Brewers, like the sleepy Brewers are coming in here and it's like, all right, whatever. Like, how do you not get fired up to play against the freaking Mets? Like an embarrassing night.
I want a gut check for this team tomorrow.
Yeah, well, it is a gut check. I mean, it's everything. 215-592-9494. Get on the line now. We'll continue to take your calls as we react to disappointing. I was going to say disappointing. That doesn't even go close to describing it. An embarrassing performance from the Phillies tonight in a spot where we certainly expected a whole lot more. 215-592-9494. It's a High Hopes edition of Final Out. We're coming right back.
Hey, did you hear? Wawa has classic hoagies for just $6.
Any classic hoagie?
Yeah, any classic hoagie.
What about the cheesesteak?
$6.
Meatball?
$6.
What about the Italian hoagie?
It's $6 for a classic. I shouldn't even have to ask, but what do you want for lunch?
Hoagies at Wawa, of course.
Right now, get any Wawa classic hoagie for $6. Gotta have a Wawa.
Who's the man in a white plumbing van?
Roto-Rooter man.
Who's the dude who clears your drain of food?
Roto-Rooter man.
Who's the guy to keep your basement dry?
He's the Roto-Rooter man.
Who's your friend for a pipe on the man?
Roto-Rooter man.
If plumbing, drain, or water cleanup are the plan, better call your Roto-Rooter man. Roto-Rooter, we put water where it should be.
Call Roto-Rooter, that's the name, and away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
Honey, I'm going to Wawa for dinner.
Okay, but Ben wants pizza.
Yep. And Nick wants a burger and fries.
Right.
Oh, and the twins, they won't touch anything except for mac and cheese.
Exactly. Wawa has something for everyone for dinner, so I only have to make one stop to make everyone happy. So, what do you want?
Well, if you're going to Wawa, I have to have a hoagie.
From burgers to hoagies and everything in between, Wawa has dinner for everyone.
What's that sound? That's the sound of Downy Unstoppable scent beads going into your washing machine and giving your clothes freshness that lasts all day long. There it is again. It's like music to your ears, or more like music to your nose. That freshness is irresistible. Let's get a Downy Unstoppables bottle shake. And now a sniff solo. Nice. With Downy Unstoppables, you just toss, wash, wow, for all-day freshness.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
This is High Hopes special post-game coverage. Sports Radio 94 WIP.
It is Final Out. Final Out is sponsored by Regency Furniture. Affordable, never looked so good. Let's get to the player of the game. Sponsored by South Jersey Gas Conserve, helping customers and the community save energy and money. Visit southjerseygas.com/conserve. Zack Wheeler, player of the game. I think that was pretty easy. No one else who's even worthy of being discussed. Schwarber wasn't bad, but just a disastrous outing from the Phillies. I mean, just like
So they're all talking right now. So some of their
good.
Their post game quotes are coming out. Bryce said that we have to stop chasing so much. Well, good thing it's only October.
No big deal.
Yeah, it's
figured you would have gotten that.
Try to work on that a little bit earlier, and then both Trey and Castellanos saying that the shadows were really bad the first.
Could not want to hear anything else from them.
Hey, just say you sucked.
Just say I sucked.
Yeah.
Hey, I sucked today, guys. I'll be better tomorrow.
You know what no one wants to hear? The shadows are bad. Listen, you can make the shadow excuse all
I'm
you want.
sure the shadows were bad. I don't care. I don't want to
care.
hear that. You know what it wasn't bad for? The Mets. They got hits.
Well,
I know they got hits after the shadows were gone, but still.
Not until the end. I'm just the big overarching takeaway is that we've seen this. We saw this in Game 6 and 7, and it's pretty remarkable that.
Oh, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. Felt like we were right back here.
12 months later.
I couldn't believe it.
12 months later that they're doing the same nonsense, and they tried to knock it out early in the season. They were doing a better job at it, when they were obviously off to the best record in baseball, but it started creeping back in. It did. I mean, it started creeping back in last two and a half weeks of the season of chasing, swinging, missing, not competitive at bats, and I mean, we love the 11 Phillies, but that's kind of what they were. I mean, that offense was also high powered that I don't think people really trusted, and they were carried by an unbelievable pitching staff and an unbelievable ace in Zack Wheeler and the Phillies or Roy Halladay back then and Wheeler on this team. It's just so disappointing. And tomorrow will tell, and you said this earlier, and you're totally right. Tomorrow will tell us a lot about the mental makeup of this team.
Yep.
We've heard so much about the resiliency. We've heard so much about this year's different. There's only one goal, one message. Well, we better see it tomorrow.
It's put up or shut up time.
We better see it tomorrow.
215-592-9494. Let's go to Tabernacle and talk to Patrick. Hey, Pat.
Hey guys, listen, Seltzer, man. We've been talking all year about this team, and they better not fall on their face here. And it's those damn bats, And I was thinking about it. What did Dombrowski do? The roster hasn't changed. Oh, we still have the same identity of look, the book's out on us. You know what I mean? And like Casty chasing, that's why I didn't want him in a number 4 hole. He's not the guy. Yeah, he was hot for a stretch here, but. I don't know, man. These bats are,
and they can't even use numbers. They can't even use numbers. When Bohm went down and he was in the 4 spot, he batted 170. There's no real rhyme or reason for it. If they're going to use home road splits for Chris Sanchez and say, well, that's pretty obvious, then And I know that.
Yeah, why wouldn't you look at the Castellanos batting like under 200 in the 4 spot, but batting like 310 in the 5 spot?
And it's not even like I trust Bohm that much, but I do think that Bohm at least will do a better job of putting the bat in the baseball. There's some times tonight where Castellanos comes up and when he goes through these stretches where he's chasing and swinging it's at 59 footers, it sucks the energy out of the building. When Trey and Castellanos specifically do the chasing stuff, you can. I think the whole crowd tenses up.
Totally.
You can see it coming. And like, what kind of adjustments in game? Like, I don't know. Look, man, I'm not, this is major league players, I know, but like, can't they just put the bat on the ball? I mean, that's the essence of baseball.
What drives me nuts, Pat, is like, dude, Trey Turner has been a 300 plus hitter for a long time. And he gets here and it feels like it's just trying to hit home runs all the time. You have to be in that spot in the lineup batting second. You have to be better. You have to be
big time.
And
thanks for the call.
Put the bat on the baseball and stop trying
especially if you're Trey Turner.
Dude,
need that. That's why you're here. You're here because you're that guy.
You are supposed to be a 20-ish home run guy that hits 330-ish. Like, stop. Same thing. What are you trying to? It's pop-ups. It's always pop-ups. Like, be a slap hitter. Do the things I would do to have a slap hitter.
I know.
I might trade the farm for Luis Ariz.
Luis Ariz, I want him more than anyone in baseball. If you could say you could have any player in baseball, is it Juan Soto? Is Aaron? Nope. Just give me Luis Ariz.
Give me Luis Ariz. Give me 22 Gene Segura. I cannot take the swing and miss. I can't do it. I can't do the chase. I can do the swing and miss. And especially for guys that are supposed to be pure hitters. Stott, pure hitter. Trey, pure hitter. Castellanos,
once upon a time,
a mix of both. It sucks the energy out of the place when they start doing that crap.
Let's go to Mount Airy and talk to Chuck. Chuck.
Hey, listen, what's going on, man? How y'all feeling? Listen, it's all right. It's all right, Jack. Don't jump off the bridge. You'll be all right, okay?
They're going to win tomorrow.
Let me tell you.
I will say, from the moment it ended, Jack has been very confident they're going to win tomorrow.
Yeah, they win tomorrow, but they're in trouble, though. You know, because they don't know how to hit
the
when
break.
they need to hit.
Oh, yeah. What? They are?
Yeah, they're in trouble. Yeah. But I disagree with you. Rob Thompson's a jackass.
How though? What did he do tonight that bothered you?
You don't take Zack
Yes,
Wheeler out.
you do.
He had 111 pitches.
I don't care about that. It's the playoffs, man. Listen, he was throwing 97, 98 on the gun. Still had heat. They couldn't wait till he took him out the game. And then
why aren't you mad at Jeff Hoffman for not doing his job?
Yeah, look, Chuck, you got Jeff Hoffman and Matt Strom. Jeff Hoffman had a 2.17 ERA. Strom was 1.87. Like, you got to trust those guys, Chuck. No, that's crazy, man.
So they don't. You guys always want to disagree with me. I'm just starting to think you guys are you just want to go against me just to go against what I'm saying. Let me finish what I'm saying to you,
Every
man.
day.
You guys are wrong.
Nope.
You're dead wrong. When the last time you seen a pitcher go from the beginning of the game to the end of the game? Didn't pitchers used to do that before? Now all of a sudden you guys act like it's against the law to do that.
The first start of the postseason, I'm not doing.
He was pitching perfectly.
No, he wasn't.
Take him out the game.
It's 111 pitches, Chuck.
He got out the game.
Chuck, he went through some tough innings in the middle there. He wasn't cruising. He was at 110 pitches. Like, why aren't you mad at Jeff Hoffman?
I'm mad at Trey Turner. That's what I'm mad at, because he stinks, okay? Every big game, he never shows up. You want to go down there and stand up for him again and give him another ovation and clap for him? He sucks, man. I tell you, he never comes through in a big moment. Never, man. 0 for 4 again. It was 0 for 4 for 5 today. Like, pathetic, man. He's just a pathetic player. He's getting paid $300-something million, too. Pathetic. He stinks.
Chuck, good call. It's funny too, because and funny is probably not the right word, but Trey Turner was awesome in the NLDS last year. He was one of the best players on this team in the NLDS. He batted was close to 400 in the NLDS against the Braves last year. Like, he was awesome. And then, Arizona, we get this guy, and it is a shame. I mean, we have seen more of that guy than the Trey Turner we thought we were getting.
Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, maybe this is who he was with Los Angeles and with Washington. Obviously, we didn't watch him every day. It's surprising the amount of swing and miss and the chase and all that stuff. The 2 spot in a lineup, Harper's their best hitter. We know that. But the 2 spot is where in other lineups, that's where the best hitter hits. And for this team to reach the apex of the sport and bring home a world title, we know the stars have to be the stars. And I just, if Trey has to be special. It can't just be Harper.
Exactly right.
Castellanos is a good player. He's a good player.
Trey's making 3 times the amount of money as Nick Castellanos.
Trey has to be special. Schwarber is great. We love Schwarber.
Well, especially because Trey can't is a bad defensive shortstop on top of it. He has to be that great offensively to make up for that on top of it.
Right. So that's the most concerning part about where we're at. Trey's a good player, really good player, but he is paid to be a difference maker. And that's the issue right now. And it's been the issue for he was
the vast majority, other than half a season last year. It's been the entire time he's been here.
And he was really hot after the first 2 weeks.
And he was hot to start the year. He, gets hurt, comes back, was still fine. But the point is he'll have stretches. But I mean, this is a guy who's supposed to your point before, he's supposed to win a batting title.
He's supposed to be an MVP guy.
Yeah.
Ish. He's not going to win it, but he needs to be top 10.
Exactly right. And he hasn't been anywhere in the hemisphere. Let's get to the play of the game, sponsored by Mike's Amazing, the official mayo and mustard of the Phillies. I don't know. The Schwarber homer. What's the play?
Well, I mean, you can do a Mets play. I mean,
do I have to?
You can.
The Vientos hit, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. The Hoffman, and I'm not super concerned about them. I do think that was. I'm not giving an excuse to the offense about rust because.
The way they talked and all that stuff too. Yeah, and
pitching's a little bit different. Tonight I felt like it was more rust with those guys. Although Hoffman did get shelled in his last appearance down in Washington, but it's just that can't happen. I mean, I know I'm not breaking any news, but they're not going anywhere if those two.
Oh no, I mean they're. Again, that we're relying on them. They're super. That's why he went to them in that spot. Yes. Those are the guys he went to in a 1-0 game to win the game, and they let him down.
Again, people are gonna be mad at Rob Thompson. Tonight's not a Thompson game.
No, he has earned their anger at times in the past. We have been angry at Rob Thompson in the playoffs and justifiably so. Tonight, I don't know what else Rob could have done. 215-592-9494. Let's go back to the phones. Talk to Ryan in Ben Salem. Hey, Ryan.
Hey, how are you?
Bad.
Yeah. No, I feel that. This was an absolutely pathetic performance. This team was, I don't know what other word to describe it other than
gutless,
horrible.
Heartless. I mean,
exactly. This offense is horrible.
Putrid.
I mean, when you have guys that can't even put up a decent at bat in the entire game, like Castellanos, Trey is a key to this series, and I knew this coming into it that he was going to need to be good because last year what happened in Arizona with the Diamondbacks, they just started pitching around Harper and Schwarber because they knew Trey couldn't hit, and they're going to start doing the same thing. The bullpen was horrible. I mean, you have guys like Hoffman and Strom who have been great all year. They come in and they're just absolutely horrible. I mean, this entire second half of the season has just been, it's really just been the same thing. I mean, these guys that you're paying millions of dollars, they're just they're not performing, and it's I don't even know what other word to describe it other than pitiful.
Ryan, good call. Yeah, I mean, it was pitiful.
Never start hot. Is that
right? Who knew? Who knew? Now, I will say, if you want to take that logic like you just used, I mean, they haven't won the World Series the last couple of years, and they have started every series with a win. So maybe this is the.
And Schwarber has sucked in the NLDS. They're changing everything around.
Yeah.
Wheeler's whip was kind of high tonight, even though they didn't allow a run. Are we going to use that as a thing as well?
Yeah.
I thought they were going to win tonight. I think I had more skepticism. When people are a little too confident,
I know
I shut down. I shut down.
You hate it.
I don't like when people get too confident. And it felt like, well, we're at the bank and it's Wheeler and this is what we do, and they don't lose game 1, and then we're gonna get a leadoff shore bomb. And I hope tonight. My biggest hope for tonight, because I'm not doing the season's over show. I mean, we're frustrated, we're mad, but they come out
again. They were up 2-0 after beating the Diamondbacks 10-0 in a romp in this building last year, and they lost that series.
So I don't want to do that, but I really am curious how they come out tomorrow. I want to see I want to see some stones.
Well, it's going to tell us everything.
It could
I don't even care if they win like 1-0 tomorrow and do the
Still
same
mad.
stuff.
Yeah.
No, then I'm out. Like
Yeah.
I will not believe in this team moving forward if they can't come out tomorrow and bring it.
Let's be hyperbolic for a second. Tomorrow changes the course of the franchise.
I don't disagree with that because look, if they lose this series, the Mets series here, like there will be changes. There have to be.
Yes.
Like you can't re-rack it and do it again after the way the last 2 postseasons will have ended. Like you just can't do it. You'd be like in the definition of insanity thing. Like so,
and you gave this core a shot.
Totally.
With what happened
They
last
didn't
year.
make moves at the deadline. We talked about like all.
Look at you. Your life is under control. Errands done. Leaves raked. It's time to give yourself a reward. You know you've been waiting all day for your favorite tasty cake treat, but which one? There are so many great choices. Is it the delicious Crimpet or the mouth-watering candy cake? No matter what you choose or where you are, it's always time for a tasty cake, so choose what feels right and enjoy. You've earned it, and you know you deserve it. Tasty cake, except no substitutes.
WIP hosts prepare for their shows in the Xfinity Mobile Lounge. Xfinity Mobile customers now get exclusive access to Wi-Fi speeds up to 1 gig in millions of locations nationwide.
Your coworkers might annoy you, but we promise we won't. Download the free Odyssey app and you can listen to us at work while you tackle your inbox or get ready for another meeting that probably could have been an email. Tune in late, you can rewind your favorite live shows to catch what you missed. And with Chapters, easily jump to the topics that you care about most, like the latest updates from your team. Your sports talk, your way. The Odyssey app. Download it today.
It's here, the most wonderful time of the year, football season. What's on the menu for football season? Pork, of course. Get ready for game day with Hatfield and put some pork on your fork. Elevate your kickoff cuisine with Hatfield's winning lineup of marinated pork tenderloins, bacon, and ham. Whether you're the tailgate king or the gridiron gourmet, Hatfield helps you savor the taste of victory. Visit simplyhatfield.com for recipes. Find your flavor with Hatfield.
Support the Evesham Township Police Foundation. See Joe Conklin and the City Rhythm Orchestra at Cherokee High School in Marlton, Saturday, October 26th.
Conklin doing his thing, his best voices, his best shtick. Joe's family is just, they're like back from the Osmonds. They're Osmonds on steroids. They're unbelievable.
They made fun of the Cowboys, though. I've known him for such a long time, but I did not know he could sing like that.
That's Conklin with City Rhythm at Cherokee High School in Marlton, New Jersey, October 26th. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com. joeconklin.com!
Order for Jennifer C.
Is this my double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double hot, double whip, double sleeve?
Yeah. Can you handle that much caffeine?
Hey, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Well, I do now.
Seriously, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, you just said that.
Did you say I just said that?
Yeah, I'm cutting you off.
Did you say you're cutting me off?
You earn, we match. Unlimited cashback match. See terms at discover.com/credit card.
This is High Hope's special post-game coverage. Sports Radio 94 WIP.
We're back. Final out. Sponsored by Regency Furniture. Affordable never looked so good.
We tried to pull the plug.
Yeah,
and
honestly,
they made us come back on.
We were like the Phillies offense tonight. We were like, yeah, we don't feel like showing up, but we're here now. Let's get to the pitch count / injury report, sponsored by the Plumbers Union Local 690, protecting the health of the nation. Visit plumbers690.org. No injuries of note tonight. Pitch count: Wheeler threw 111 pitches, which it seems some people did not think was enough.
Right.
I don't know about that, but
It's and then you can't.
It's insane
Obviously,
to blame Rob
I
Thompson
know,
tonight.
I
Like,
know.
it's absolutely insane.
If you
that,
want to listen, you do have to think about Game 5, and you do not start the playoffs by throwing Wheeler 125.
And again, like, if you can't trust Jeff Hoffman in a 1-0 game, what are we doing here? Like,
and they had 2 hits.
they had 2 hits.
Yes.
Until the ones that
Until
didn't.
I don't care about
Those don't count.
the
I
garbage
agree.
time hits.
I agree.
I do not care.
All right, 215-592-9494. Let's continue to get some reaction. It's a High Hopes edition of Final Out. Let's talk to Paul and Westgrove. Paulie.
James, how are you?
Good to talk to you, pal.
Good to talk to you too, my man. Can I just go off a little bit for a second?
Please, the floor is yours.
Let me tell you something. Freaking Thompson sucks, and he should have pitched Wheeler for freaking 200 pitches.
Right.
All right, let's get away from that. Let's go to Ferret Face at shortstop. He was horrible tonight. Turner was horrible. And that's my biggest fear right there. Harper was swinging at those crazy slurs or whatever you want to call them. You got to stop that stuff. I mean, and the same thing, Castellanos doing the same thing on the other side. This is not going well for the Phillies, and it's not going to fare well for the Phillies. I can see a sweep coming in here, and it scares me to death. With this bankroll, with $600, $700 million players, this is not what we expected. And it's pretty scary. Agreed or no?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's terrifying. I mean, again, tomorrow is a potential franchise-altering game. If they could go down 0-2 and come back and win the series, I wouldn't say they would. But if they roll over, I mean, they rolled over tonight. They didn't even get off the bus to play. If they roll over tomorrow and look very similar, they're going to have to shake the core up. There's absolutely no doubt about it. And I think Bryce walked twice and hit a double.
Yeah, it was that one at bat he really chased. It didn't really feel like he was the issue.
It's Trey, it's Castellanos, it's Bohm, it's Stott, it's those
Trey,
guys. Yeah.
But let me say this to you, Trey. The way Trey swings with that upper and the hand releases and
Drives
everything like that, that's my biggest fear right there, because that's a wiffle ball swing, in my opinion. When he's hitting the ball to all fields and everything like that, he is swinging the bat and it's level. But
Paul, you're right about a good call. He's right. Like Turner, when he's locked in, I've said this to you before. I feel like he has the most level swing I've ever seen practically when he's locked in. Like it goes so level through the zone. And he's right. It does get to that kind of uppercut type of thing when he's letting go and kind of swinging high.
For a team that's as quote unquote as experienced as they are, it sure seems like when things aren't going great that they can't dig themselves out of it, unless it's Schwarber hitting a home run, unless it's Brett. There's too much talent in that lineup for as disappointing as they've been for a good stretch here. It's not, I mean, Trey's a huge part of it, but Stott's a first-round pick. Bohm's a first-round
pick. I mean, this Mets team puts the ball in play, hits like crazy. It's guys you never heard of, like Tyrone Tracy and like Mark Vientos. Taylor. That's what I mean. Like it's a team full of guys who should not, and Vientos had a good year, something OPS, but it's like these are just dudes who come up and are raking for them and putting the ball in play and like don't swinging every pitch outside the zone. It's like
the Mets lineup should not outproduce.
It shouldn't even be close. Like this shouldn't be a discussion.
But we've seen them underachieve.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I'm not saying it's
the silver lining in all this is, hey, maybe get Kevin Long out of here.
Yeah, well, at this point,
I mean, it's been the same crap for
3 years in a row. What do you want to do? Like, I don't know what a hitting coach, if a hitting coach matters that much, but it's certainly not working. That's for sure. Let's go back to the phones. Let's talk to Dominic in Westchester. Hey, Dom.
Hello.
What's up, Dom?
Hey guys, I sorry, my voice is a little jacked up. I just came from the game.
Me too.
I'm not surprised at the flatness of this team. I mean, that was the biggest fear coming out of the regular season was, oh, we have a bye week, they're gonna get flat, whatever. Dude, I'm a season ticket holder. I go to as many playoff games as I can. I have never been more disappointed in this fan base. I mean, it's the seventh inning on a Saturday night at 6 o'clock. You don't have work the next morning. There's lines leaving the stadium. It's like, we expected that maybe they would be flat and this and that, but we owe it more as fans to come in here to let that happen. And honestly, I just feel like we're selling out. I feel like that we're pricing out the real fans coming in here because, I mean, who is coming in here on a divisional game and leaving in the seventh inning? I don't care what's going on. It's like, man, like we're losing our identity at home too. That's huge in the playoffs, man. And that's the biggest thing that we were talking about. don't sell the tickets. Don't sell the tickets. Don't let the Mets take over. But I mean, come on, guys. Like,
I'm with you, Dominic. It didn't feel like there were that many Mets fans here.
No, but at the same time, I mean, they
The
got to
team
give you a
drove
reason
them.
to
Yeah,
believe.
I know.
I mean, they weren't coming back tonight.
No,
You
they
kidding
definitely
me?
weren't. Yeah.
I mean, listen, there were some people mad about it, and
And I holistically agree. Like, still at the end of a playoff game, you know, it's a playoff game. You never know what can happen. I mean, we just saw the Mets come back from 2-0 in the ninth and win that game. Like, you know, but I do agree with you in the sense that sitting there watching it play out, I had no hope. Like, I did not in any way, shape, or form believe that they were going to come back. And that's tough, man.
I was actually mad that they scored a run.
I know. It's like, can we just end this?
I was mad at them. Nick Castellanos on the Phillies offensive struggles. I feel like from the first inning through the seventh inning, it was really hard to see the baseball.
Oh my God.
I think on both sides.
It's like the last thing you want.
What do we have? 3 hits in the first 7 innings?
What are we doing?
I know.
Like, what are you doing, man?
I know.
It'd be one thing if you never look like that ever. Like, what are we doing here? This is the same thing in the playoffs again. Let's go to California and talk to Bree. Hey, Bree.
How's it going, guys?
What's up, buddy?
First of all, I got to say, the people that are blaming Rob Thompson and saying that Zack Wheeler should have went past 111 pitches is crazy to me, right?
That's
like, you don't push your starting pitcher on your first postseason game, especially when you know your bullpen is fresh, right? We had the bye, and you expect those guys to show up. And so unbelievable.
It's just being mad to be mad at something rather than just blaming players.
I think
we do this far too often. It's happening.
Right?
It's not to make this into the Eagles, but it's happening with the Eagles too. I mean, I don't know why we can't. It's okay. The players let them down tonight. It is what it is.
Exactly. And I hate to say this because I love this team so much in this core, but I just genuinely don't think they have what it takes, right? We've seen this in the past couple of years. The players don't show up when we need them the most. And I hate the fact that we didn't make any moves or any significant changes, right, at the at the trade deadline. And to think that this team, you're going to roll it out as it is year after year and think you're going to get a different result is literally the definition of insanity.
They won't. They won't.
I don't think they will after this year. But to your point, and good call, like, I do think that, you know, this is something Elliot has said to us a lot, where he's like, this team might just be front runners. And it does feel
front runners, but also have to be underdogs.
But that's what I mean. Like, it's like going into it, but they when they're up, when they're winning, the big homer games, all that stuff. But it does feel like they don't have any dog in them. Like, this team feels like they have no fight, like no dog. Like, if you can knock them down, guess what? They ain't getting back up.
Well,
and that's a bad spot to be as a baseball team.
Yeah, and that's a mentality thing.
Totally, I mean, it's resiliency, it's toughness,
and I think we feel that. I think we all feel that.
We definitely feel it, especially, we've said this a million times on the pod over the years and just talking baseball. It's like, that's a hallmark of good teams. When I think about the great teams I've seen over my lifetime watching baseball, like, every single one of them wasn't out of a baseball game. It was like, well, they've still got outs, so you know what? They have a chance. Like, with this team, it feels like I don't care how many outs they have left. If they go down, it's like, well, that was fun.
Yeah, and that's not who they were the first 2.5 months of the season. You always felt like they were going to come back.
Totally.
And
Toronto game is the only game in the second half of the season where they surprised us with that. Feels like.
Yeah, I mean, the Schwarber Grand Slam game.
Yeah,
they were
right. Yeah, the Schwarber. Yeah,
there's a couple, but for the most part, yeah, they just kind of there's a lot of nights where they just roll over and don't put together the right kind of at bats, and it's just infuriating for the kind of talent they have in that lineup to consistently do that kind of and have those kind of performances. Like Kevin Long, whatever. Maybe he's not very good anymore. Maybe his peak was the 2019 Nats. It's just shocking. Now, does it make you feel any better or worse that the Royals are beating the Yankees and the Padres are up 3-0 in the first already?
It makes me feel worse. Because then it's like, oh God, this bye thing maybe is like a thing, and they're not going to get any better. And
except for Cleveland,
over quickly. Except for Cleveland, you just handle business.
Yeah. Well, they don't. The biggest thing that we always keep coming back to is really just the grind out type of at bats, and they don't do it enough. And they didn't. They did a good job of it in 2022, but even 2022, it was a lot of power driven. For sure. But you had a guy like Segura in there.
Yep.
You had a guy like Segura who put the bat on the baseball, and obviously he's not the key to everything, but That should be Bryson Stott. That should be Trey Turner. That should be Alec Bohm. That should be Brandon Marsh. Should be Brandon Marsh. Should be Johan Rojas. It's a really disappointing unit. It's an incredibly disappointing unit. And if this doesn't turn around and they don't show up tomorrow, they're gonna get smoked. I mean, they're gonna get the brunt of letting down and blowing a World Series opportunity. I mean, it's as simple as that.
Yeah. And especially with, after the last 2 years to regress, if they regress year by year, where this would be, from the World Series, the NLCS, the NLDS, and with the expectations where they were. And to your point, like with the way these guys freaking talked, like with the way they've talked this week before this game, it's just like if you guys can't find it in you to fight and to grind in this situation, then I will never listen to a word you say like that ever again. Like anytime you say, well, we're going to do this, I'm like, no, you're not. Like, you're not. Like, until you prove it to me, I can't believe what you say.
Fun times.
Great times. All right. Thank you.
They're going to win tomorrow.
I do think they're going to win tomorrow, but it's like, man, now they have to.
Yeah.
And that's what it is.
I would love to see. I want to see a desperate ball club tomorrow. And one of my biggest fears is they went on cruise control. They had it for the first 2.5 months. They were like, we should calm down a little bit, and they can't regain it again.
Yeah, that's my fear, because they have not gotten back to be like they obviously stabilized and weren't, after the midseason lull, they were a better team and they had some winning streaks, and they never got back to that.
They were all just preparing for this moment. Every decision they made was about October. And then you go and lay a stinker like that. I mean, show up tomorrow. Show up tomorrow and prove you are a great baseball team and have some testicular fortitude. That's all I want.
Well said. I think that's a good spot to leave it. Thank you to everyone who called in. Thank you to Luke producing the show back in the studio. And thank you to Tucker hanging out with us all game.
And TK who saved the show.
TK who saved the show. And we'll be up next. If you're on the line now, Tom Kelly is coming up next. Stay there. He will be talking Phillies, taking your calls as it's a night to vent. And tomorrow we're back at it. Tomorrow we'll be here 2:00.
Yeah.
Pregame show. Calls tomorrow. They will win tomorrow. They have to. They better.
Well, they don't have a choice.
They better. All right. We'll talk to you guys later. Here's Fritz and Seltzer.
Hey, did you hear?